Today's sponsor. Can you give your money to a bookie and not gamble? Well, you'd be surprised to hear that the answer actually is yes. Yes, you can. Through something called match betting, it's possible to know your profit before an event even starts. How? By using two bookmakers' offers against each other. You know the offers. Sign up and get a £20 bonus here, sign up and get a £40 bonus there. You can use Profit Accumulator's website to find these offers in seconds and use them against each other to make a steady profit each month.
So what does Profit Accumulator do and how does it work? Well, it works with something called match betting. Match betting allows you to put a bet on multiple outcomes of an event and come away with a profit using their advanced algorithm and system that you can access for free. The best thing is they have a step-by-step guide when you sign up on how to make a steady profit each month, and they will even help you pick the best bets.
Check out their free trial in the link below. Very fancy.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. I'm Nicky Hawkins, I'm here with Ryan and Graham. Is anyone else joining us tonight, Ryan?
I think Scott might be on his way. I think he's running a little late.
Scott's going to be a little bit. If he can get on, he'll be a bit later.
So what? He's not, or he is?
No,
Well, he's going to try and get on a bit later.
Well, I was trying. Yeah, he's got something. He's got something to sort out. He'll be on.
No problem at all. You had a good week?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. How was yours? How was your week?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Right?
It's all right. Yeah, it's been a good week, mate. Thank you for asking, Graham. Nick,
That's all right, mate. That's all right. I'm glad everyone's had a good week.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's been good. A lot going on. Busy. I was ill as well, so that wiped me out for 48 hours, which fucking hated it. But it's part of life, isn't it? It's part of life.
Absolutely. Right. Thank you for everyone in the chat for joining us on this live show. What's the first subject?
Oh, well, it's the main talking point, really. It's all everyone's been talking about the last couple of days is will Declan Rice leave the club in the summer? I don't know if you've seen it, but there was a few things come out today on TalkSport. I mean, Trevor Sinclair, I was very surprised with his comments, to be fair. Basically telling Declan Rice to leave West Ham. Now, that's not going to go down well with us. I've always had respect for Trevor Sinclair, but lately a few of his comments have really starting to piss me off. And he seems to be more anti-Man City at the moment, maybe because he's doing well, because I don't remember him being this vocal about him when he was playing for him and just after he left. But with everything that's gone on, with the obviously people saying lack of ambition with a signing in January, Declan Rice is apparently the first one going to be out the door in the summer. I'll be honest, I can't see it. I can see him staying another year, another season at least. But it just depends what we do in the summer. You know, we have to spend big, and we have to spend big early to keep someone like Declan Rice.
I mean, there's always speculation, like, you know, when you haven't sort of shown any ambition in the transfer market as any club, not just us. You know, there's always speculation about the club's bigger players leaving. But I agree with Ryan. I think the summer's going to be the important transfer window, because, as I've said before, in January, no one ever sells like their best players in January. So with the players you're buying are just sort of players that are bit part players in other squads. So summer's when you lay down your mark of what your ambition is for the following season.
Thing is, as well, like Declan Rice hasn't gone down well with a few of the West Ham fans in the last couple of days, because he done that interview on Gary Neville's Overlap, which was a brilliant interview. I'm looking forward to the full interview. But he's obviously, look, we all know he's a Chelsea fan. He grew up a Chelsea fan. So when he said he looked up to players like John Terry and that he supported Chelsea as a kid, he also turned around and said that his family now actually support West Ham as well. They love West Ham. So you can't expect every player to be brought up through West Ham's academy and love West Ham from a young age, because that don't happen. I mean, Teddy Sheringham's a Tottenham legend, but I bet some of these fans that are slagging Declan Rice off voted Teddy Sheringham Hammer of the Year in 2004, 2005, whenever it is.
The thing is, mate, I think what a lot of people forget and I've seen this on because I watched the Ben Foster like his podcast and all that. So people forget, yes, they're footballers, but they grew up as fans. So they won't they may have an affinity for the club after they've played for them, but they won't necessarily have grown up supporting that club, will they? So that's at the end of the day, they might be professional footballers, but before they were footballers, they were fans, and they're going to carry on following that team. And they so right, if you went and played for, like, say you went and played for Arsenal or something like that, you'd still be a West Ham fan, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I look. I actually know one or two of Declan Rice's brothers a little bit, not too well. We've only recently sort of met and started sort of chatting, and I know they go to every West Ham game. I actually met his brother out in Zagreb when we went out to Zagreb on his own, traveling. Brothers couldn't make it. But bought a ticket, travelled with the travelling fans, no special treatment. He was queuing up outside. That's where we actually met him. And they are West Ham fans now, but they did grow up as Chelsea fans. That's no secret. Like there's every player that's played for your club, Jared Bowen is not a West Ham fan, or he wasn't a West Ham fan. He grew up supporting, I think it was Preston North End, weren't it?
Yeah,
mate, in Preston North End.
Well, what I remember is, it doesn't matter if you grow up supporting West Ham, because Frank Lampard Jr. grew up supporting West Ham, and look at the way he was treated. So
yeah.
Who does it matter what football club you support?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what football club you support as a kid. It's the club that you give your allegiance to as a player. And look, the stark reality is that Declan Rice, unless something drastic happens, like what happened at Newcastle, he's going to leave us at some point, because he's a world-class player, and he's a world-class talent. He's only going to get better. He's going to end up the England captain, and I'm afraid that the days that England captains stay at West Ham, because I'll tell you for why, because it's not a level playing field anymore. You had that thing with Leicester a couple of years ago, but the Premier League and England to a certain extent, and the FA and all of that, and they've made quite sure that the clubs that are, the top six, the six that they can sell, they're not really, unless there's a disaster, they're not really going to drop outside of that. They've unevened the playing field. You talk about the Super League. With what's happening at the Premier League at the minute, it seems like they've made them a deal, and this is becoming the Super League. It's just we're making up the numbers. It's just the way it is. But saying that, West Ham have had a very, very good chance, right? And I don't agree with you, Graham, in the terms of let's look forward and all that. You got to live in the now. We keep on looking forward and looking forward and looking forward and looking forward to the next season and the next season and the next season after that. We had a great opportunity to do it last year. They got some signings in, and they done very well, and they nearly got us there. We've gone again, and they haven't strengthened. But I'm not going to sit here and talking about the transfer window. We've done 4 or 5.
Gone. There's nothing we can do about that now.
It's gone. Lord, Jesus Christ!
It has gone. There's no point in sitting here talking about it.
All right, Ty.
But there is a point in telling them that you're not happy with it, because they had a great opportunity. And for me, you see the levels where we've gone to. We've gone up a couple of levels. Yeah, we have. But that's not down to, I don't believe that's down to board level investment. That's down to good coaching, good management. And I suppose they've got to take a little bit of a little bit of credit for that, because they appoint them. But I in no point since he's been here has he actually turned around and supported him. We'll talk about that interview later. But at the moment, we're talking about Declan Rice. He's going to leave. And I personally think he will leave this summer, because, as I say,
And I'll be honest with you, I think that would be disastrous for the club. And I don't just think it's because Declan Rice is leaving, but we're going to be losing 2 captains in the same summer. Unless they pull something out their arse, Ryan, unless we go to the Europa League final and win it, or unless we get into the Champions League by the grace of God, I think he will leave.
This is what
I don't think Bowen will leave, but I think he will.
Right. This is what I'm saying though. If West Ham, I mean, I've seen 4 or 5 videos since the transfer window shut of the players back in training. Declan Rice don't look like someone for me who wants to leave the football club. Looks happy, looks settled, and unless a ridiculous offer comes in for him that the club can't turn down, I can't see Declan Rice handing in a transfer request, refusing to play. I think he's happy at West Ham. As I said, he's only I think he's just turned 23, or he's just about to turn 23. I can see him staying with us next season. And look, we all know he's going to leave the football club one day. He's too good for West Ham. He deserves to be playing at the top level in the Champions League and that. But I think sometimes players need to just show. I'm not saying Declan Rice ain't loyal, but just show that little bit of loyalty. Because remember, Chelsea are linked with him. Chelsea kicked him out. They didn't want to know him. West Ham West Ham turned him into the player he is today and the England national. So, and I don't think, and I've met Declan Rice a few times, and so have you. You know, he's a very down-to-earth, grounded player, a person, and I can't see him unless the club accepts an offer for him. I can't see him leaving. I really can't. Not next season, anyway.
I don't think he's going to push himself out the door, but
it's just if an offer comes in, they can't refuse, isn't it? You know,
but I don't agree with that statement either, because they can refuse any offer. It depends what their ambition is.
He's got.
Well, you know what the ambition is to make money.
The thing is, as well, is if Declan Rice does go in the summer, it won't be at the beginning. So if Declan Rice, I mean, say he gets to a week before the end of the transfer window, he may want to force a move if we haven't brought anyone in. That's the key thing. This summer's transfer window needs. I mean, I know we don't want to talk about transfers, but what we're talking about now is how to sort of try to keep Declan Rice at the football club. And if David Moyes, Kretinsky, Sullivan, Gold, Brady, if they're all turning around and saying, look, we held back in January because we think we've got enough. Moyes thinks we've got enough. In the summer, we're going to go out and the targets we had in January, we're going to go and get them. Then Declan Rice can turn around and say, okay, you're matching what I wanted. Because last season or the season before, he was saying, I want European football. You know, I want us to be challenging for the top 6. We're doing that. So unless now he comes out and says he wants West Ham to win the league and we're not going to do that, then he's going to go. Declan Rice, one thing as well about Declan Rice, he's not one of the biggest played at the football club. I ain't seen him coming out moaning about that either. He just seems to be happy to be playing football, happy to be captain this football club. I see the way he speaks about Mark Noble, and there was another interview that came out this week with Mark Noble, the way he speaks about Declan Rice. There's a lot of love for Declan Rice at the football club, and Declan Rice loves the football club. So it'll take something drastic to really push him out of this football club.
Yeah. Look, the only people that have got the real answers are sitting upstairs, and for me, it's a very worrying time with them. I think this is sort of like a time where they have to, you know, what am I saying? Like, I feel like at this time they're digging their heels in. At this time, that we've never had the best relationship with them after the first 2-3 years. It's always been a rocky relationship, and it got really bad 3 or 4 years ago now, and it still continues to be bad to this day. And unfortunately, like as much as we don't want it to be, they're the ones in control of the transfers. They're the ones in control of the money. They're the ones in control of everything. And there's a couple of assets in that team. I could name Souček, I could name Rice, I could name Bowen, Antonio to a certain extent, although he's past 30 now. Said Benrahma, Kurt Zuma, who are all players that probably worth £40 million plus. You know, every single one of them is worth probably £40 million plus. And as I said, I think the reason that they didn't invest now is because they won't reap the benefits of that investment. They won't reap it. If we get into the Champions League by investing, 50, 60, 70 million pounds, they're not going to see that, because they're going to sell the club. And that really worries me going into this transfer window, because they could probably rake in, if you're talking about Declan Rice, they're talking about £100 million. Bowen's probably 50, 60 million pounds. Souček's probably 40, 50 million pounds. And then you've got Zuma's probably 30, 40 million pounds. And they could cash all them in and take 250 million quid and say, thanks for the cheese, see you later. And, it's already agreed that they're going to sell the club. I don't think this new guy's going to let them do that. But one or two of them could go. You know what I mean? I mean, one or two of them could go because it makes the club more, I wouldn't say attractive to investors, but it makes the club look like it's making more money. And the problem is with this transfer window is we made more money last year than we've ever made, and we was the 12th richest club in the world. I think it's them digging their heels in. I'm not going to say it's shameful, it's disgusting, and all that, because I've said all I've got to say about Gold, Sullivan, and Brady. I don't have to keep on saying it over and over again, the same as everyone else. But it is a worrying time. It is a worrying time, and I think he could well go.
Well, look, we can sit here for the next 4 or 5 months saying ifs and buts, and we don't know the ins and outs, what goes on behind the scenes. We can all speculate what goes on, but we don't know what goes on. I mean, from someone I spoke to yesterday, it was David Moyes in the transfer window in January. David Moyes was backed. David Moyes had the money there to spend. Nick, look, mate, you can shake your head, mate, but I spoke to someone who's knows a lot in the football club, and it was David Moyes. David Moyes had his targets. He didn't get them. He didn't want anyone else. He was offered
Why
other
didn't they get the targets then?
Because they weren't available. The clubs weren't willing to sell.
Well, they was putting bids in for people.
Exactly. So if we're bidding and the club are not accepting, there's nothing you can do, unfortunately.
Well, yeah. I don't believe that.
Well,
I just can't.
Mate, you can believe what you want. I'm just telling you, and it's come from a source that hasn't let me down before. So I'm not going to look. You believe what you want, mate. I'm just saying that David Moyes was the one that was turning down players to come to this football club in January. He had 4 targets that he wanted. None of them was available, and he said okay, and that was it. There was other players that was offered, other Premier League players that was offered on loan. He didn't want them. So there you go. He likes to work with a small squad. We know that. He's got his players that he likes, he trusts. And it's a risk. I think it's a risk because I would have taken at least 2 of these players in on loan because I think they would have done a good job, a really good job. But it is what it is. So I don't know, mate. I can't. I'm only going by what I've been told, and yeah.
Like I say, we're not privy to the goings on behind closed doors, are we? So, like we said earlier, it's just speculation. But everyone said he's been told by someone who's never
believe. All right, I believe that there was targets, and I believe that there was. Maybe some of them weren't available, but I just can't fathom that he would sit there for a month and go, giving them 4 transfer targets at the beginning, and they, how long does it take to make an inquiry? A day, 2 days?
They wasn't. This is another thing as well. They wasn't given at the start of the transfer window.
Well, that's just stupid then.
I know, mate. Look, I agree. I agree with you. It's ridiculous. We could have at least got 1 player in on loan. I mean, people were saying about Diego Costa. Like, for me, look, Diego Costa, it's a risky one because I don't think he's as match fit as he was, and he's not the same player at Chelsea. But we've got to take anyone at this point. I mean, David Moyes could ask for Costa and fucking Sullivan to bring them Starbucks. That's how fucking fucked up our football club is sometimes. But it's
Do you think he would have done a job for us for 4 months?
I'm the same. I'm the same, mate. I was astounded that I couldn't believe that we didn't get at least 2 players in. But look, I've learned to sort of trust David Moyes a bit, and it's worked so far. So I'm going to continue to do that, and I hope that. And look, I said it the other day, the word luck, and people started ripping into me. But we do need luck. We do need luck for our players to stay fit. I mean, it just goes to show that David Moyes has come out today and said he's a bit pissed off that Antonio's come back this late. Well, you should have had someone in to not even have to worry about playing Antonio tomorrow. Because let's face it, Antonio's not going to be there tomorrow. But we should still have enough tomorrow to beat Kidderminster. But we'll talk about that, a little bit later. But yeah, yeah.
But
I just think it's a shit show.
Transfer window's gone. There's nothing we can't influence the past. We've just got to. The players we've got just got to roll the sleeves up and get on with it, mate.
Yeah, and as I said the other day, mate, I still have a lot of faith, and there's still a lot to play for this season. And look, I think you look at the clubs around us. United never strengthened. Arsenal got weaker. Tottenham added a couple of loan players in that might hit the ground running. They might not. I think there was 9 clubs in total that didn't do business in the transfer window. So it just goes to show,
what
it was.
How many of them 9 clubs are missing players from positions?
I don't know, mate. I don't take much notice of other clubs, but I can imagine there's a lot of teams in the same situation as us. Arsenal have just let their top goal scorer go for peanuts, for nothing. They've let 6 players go and they've not brought anyone in. As I said, they're weaker. It's only Liverpool signed someone, Man City signed someone, Newcastle. Look, listen, no disrespect to Newcastle, but everyone was banging on about their signings. They signed Dan Burns, Matt Targett, and Chris Wood. That's a relegation team. They're players to get you out of a relegation battle. I think Villa had the best transfer window, along with probably Everton. I think Everton had a great transfer window with Dele Alli and Van der Beek. I think, and obviously they got Frank Lampard in as manager, so they're going to be a total different team. But it's not always. It don't always work out when you bring in these players. We was lucky last season with Jesse Lingard. We all sat here, and when we signed Jesse Lingard, I remember people saying, "Oh, it ain't going to work out. It ain't going to work out. He's going to upset the apple cart." He come in and he was nearly our player of the season. Sometimes players come in and they can hit the ground running, and sometimes they can come in and disturb the team. So, as I said, of course I'm disappointed we didn't bring anyone in. I think everyone is. We all wanted at least one. At least one. Well, we needed 2 or 3 to be fair. But, look, we've still got a lot to play for this season. And I'm sure that, as Graham said, we can't change the past now. Let's forget it. I think someone made a great comment the other day when they said last time we signed a fully fit or signed a proper striker, COVID weren't even around. And COVID's been around for 2 years.
It's true. But that's
just COVID.
That's just not good enough.
We're still 5th in the league. We're in the last 16 in the Europa League.
But look, let's visit this at the end of the season. That's when to judge. Like, I'm not judging now.
Yeah, no, this is the thing. We could be sitting here at the end of the season. We could say we finished 12th. We went out the FA Cup to Kidderminster. We got knocked out and it's been shit. But then we could also be sitting there thinking, you know what, David Moyes done a great job. We're finished in the top 6. We had a great run in the cups. We might even have lifted a cup by the time we come to the end of the season. You never know. So let's just have a little bit of faith. Let's keep the faith. Keep the faith.
All right, let's take some comments.
As I said, just before you take comments, mate, I'd rather be battling to get in the top 4 than staying at the bottom 3.
Look, last 2 seasons we got into Europe. We're battling for Europe again. How often has that happened in our history? 2 seasons on the spin battling for Europe.
Exactly. It's like when I interviewed Kenny Brown the other day. He said, enjoy these days because it don't often come around for West Ham. And it shows how far we've come as a club when we're moaning about getting knocked out of the top 4, losing a last-minute winner to United. So it happens. It happens in football, but come on, you Irons.
Jawa, €20. He said, this is the best time of the week. Thank you very much, mate. Chris Mills. the trouble we have with all of those at the end of their contracts, if Rice and Bowen go also, we'll need about 10 new players. The Clevers left us short of numbers, it's ridiculous. West Ham and Republic of Ireland made Deck who he is. England, another team who tossed him to the side till he got good. Not sure about that. Anas Ahmed says the club will accept a low fee for him, 80 million. Nicky, I don't know about those valuations. I think he's talking about when I was valuating the players, but you're spot on about the rest. I trust David Moyes and the board. Sorry, we're still fifth. Okay. You taking your medication? Richard B says there was no one better than Antonio in the world that we could have got in before the window closed. Give me a break, said Richard B. Jimbo says, I think we are in the same boat as what Everton were during Moyes' tenure. Fans wanted more etc., but Moyes was never quite the one to push them into the top four. He did get into the top four. Matthew Ball, the sooner this ball go, the better. They do not match the ambition of a club wanting to maintain high standards. I feel for the next 12, 18 months, the hard work can be very, very, very nearly be all undone. Derek A, small squad does not mean no strikers. Name one other Premier League team with only no strikers. I'm not sure. Maybe Man City? He should have got a couple of extra bodies. Moyes is flogging the current squad because of his ego. Alan Phillips, no surprise. Shopping in the January sales, come back empty-handed. Let's move on. Nonsense. Cars Club offered to sell him for 15 million, and Moyes and the board wanted a loan, refused to pay it. Matt Powell, I was a bit confused about this deal because we've been looking at him for 2 years. 15 million is quite a low, and they wanted a loan to see what he's like. I can't see what you've been looking at then. You've just been sending someone to a jolly for France for 2 years. If Rice leaves, it will be Man City or Chelsea, as they would pay 100 million. Moyes' targets are 3 in the summer. That's when we will get them. Billy Herring says it's Moyes' fault. Dean Henderson disagrees. He says Moyes gives ball the targets, but the ball do low ball low ball offers as usual. Winehammer, so did Moyes have no plan B? That's not like him. Obviously, not bidding enough. It's like teams offering 50 million for Declan. My boss says, Nicky, you look down. No, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Just working hard. And Stevie Warboy says, Divering Dave as per. So a lot of people agreeing with you there, Ryan, with the Moyes situation. But, as I say, let's get to the summer and see where we are then. And then I think
we should all make a pact that after tonight's show, we never mention transfers again until the summer, until the end of the season. Yeah. No more transfer talk.
Because there's nothing we can do about it.
It has done absolute nut in the last month. Honestly, I tell you. I can't do on the socials. I remember I was doing on the socials and the other week, and all it was are the transfer things. And then some lady, bless her, June, put in a question about the FA Cup, and I was so happy that it just wasn't a transfer question. I love you, June. You made my night. But look, it's going to be an interesting second half of the season. So what's the next subject? Someone just said there about Jesse Lingard's been left out the squad for tonight. That was an interesting thing yesterday because it's sort of that their manager, Wreck-It Ralph, come out and said that Jesse Lingard wasn't in the right frame of mind and he's not in the right frame of mind to play football. Then Jesse Lingard tweeted out saying, yes, I am. I'm 100% and I'm ready to go whenever. So something's definitely up there because the manager wanted it gone. I think, obviously, the Mason Greenwood situation was the reason why Jesse Lingard didn't leave, because I think they was going to let him go, but then obviously with what's going on with Greenwood, but then he's not even in the squad. So
he's got a bit of a reputation for lying, the old manager, because I think he lied about what's his face, Martial, before he left, and said he refused to come on, and Martial turned around and said, "Yeah, no, I didn't."
Yeah, exactly. And I'm surprised. I'm surprised they let Van der Beek go as well. I really am, especially with what's going on with Greenwood, because Greenwood's situation is, look, there's got to be more behind this, and I think the club and that might, because they're refunding people with his name. They've taken him off of FIFA. They've taken him off the squad list. You know what I mean? So it's not looking good for Greenwood. So, yeah, I think they're going to be
Anything I would say about the
Greenwood
Greenwood situation, and obviously, like, well, we can give our opinion on it. I mean, everyone else has, but I mean, what do you make of this situation, Ryan?
Look, I'm always one of these people. You're innocent until proven guilty, but it don't look good for him with all the evidence that's come out. And when FIFA dropped him from the game, as I said, Man United have dropped him from the squad list. He's been banned from obviously training. Anything to do with United, his sponsor just dropped him. It's not looking good, is it? So there is obviously more behind it, and I think there's a lot going to come out as well that I was reading today about Man United were covering it up when it all happened, and Solskjaer was part of it as well. So I suppose there's going to be a lot more to come from this situation. But yeah, if he is guilty, then he deserves to go down. You know, lock him up, chuck away the key.
I agree.
Just step foot on a football pitch again.
The problem, I think, what some of the problems with these clubs nowadays is that, and I tweeted this out the other day, like, from what I've heard, you know, and I'm not going to sit here and say it definitely is him, but a person like him is a danger. It's a danger to society. It's a danger to women, obviously, if you see the way he treats them. But he's also a danger to everyone else. And unfortunately, you get a lot of footballers like this. Footballers are I think, are the worst for it, although I can't talk about it.
Like, they're on big money at a young age. They're not used to being told no.
Well,
that's the trouble.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? And you know, a football club sit down and they educate a young footballer, especially when they're thrust into the first team at such a young age, and they tell them how to deal with press, what to say and what not to say, all in controlled environments, how to, you know, handle autograph hunters, how to do this. And what it seems that they don't tell them what to do is they don't teach them humility. They don't teach them how to treat people. They don't teach them how to bed into society. And sometimes that's a consequence of them becoming thrust into the spotlight. There should be people looking after them. You know, young 18-year-old kids that are all of a sudden given £100,000 a week. I mean, you know, who the fuck knows what we'd all be up to at that age. But what they don't know, and obviously I can't comment on his family and all of that sort of thing. So let's, you know, you'll have to look into that. I don't really know his situation, but somebody's saying there, let's wait until the police case is done. Well, yeah, we are. We're just commenting on it. It's like, you know, anything, isn't it? But
as I said,
from what I've heard, I mean, innocent until proven guilty. But from the evidence I've heard, it's pretty fucking disgusting. To be quite honest with you, you know, it doesn't. You know, I can't comment on the photos, but I'm thinking more of the voice note. Now, there is situations where it could be, you know, manipulated and all that thing. They've got to charge him just yet, and they haven't done that. He's out on bail. But as you say, it doesn't look great for Mason Greenwood. I'm afraid it doesn't look good for him at all. But what they should start doing with these kids, I mean, you look at the difference between someone like Declan Rice and Mason Greenwood. I think it's chalk and cheese. You know, he's such a humble kid. Declan Rice is such a, you know, a lovely lad. You know, we've met him in person, and he's, you know, everything that you see on camera is what he is in person. And then you hear this sort of thing from a young kid, you know, a little bit younger than him. You know, they just need to learn humility. They just need to learn that, you know, the world doesn't owe them a favour. And, you know, with people like that, mate, they need a good fucking smack around. That's what they need. They need a good fucking smack, and they need someone to put them in their place. But look, it is what it is, and it is. You know, it looks like the lad's fucked his career, and fucking rightly so if he's guilty. And you know, I don't give a shit about his career, but I hope that young lady's all right.
The thing is, though, there's also, like, you know, saying they look up, but there's no in right and wrong.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying. It was his girlfriend, and they seem to think that they own people, and they, you know, whatever. But we can't judge him. There are you can't prove that the photos are real or they was done by him. There is unless there's other evidence. You can't tell whether the recordings. You don't know what people get up to in the bedroom. It could be some sort of role fucking playing thing that they do, and she's just recording. You don't know. You don't know. But they will find evidence if it's there. If she wants to testify, more than likely he'll probably pay her off. But there is other aspects to this case. But if he is guilty, if he's found guilty, and Man United are sending out emails to their people that bought fucking Greenwood shirts 3-4 years ago, telling them you can bring them in, swap them in, and they'll change them for something else. It speaks volumes.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I said, mate, it doesn't look good. But yeah, look, it's down to the police and the courts and that now to deal with. And I'm sure we're over the next few weeks and months where we'll find out a bit more about it. But let's get back to West Ham. Buckham.
Yeah. Graham, what do you want to talk about, mate? You're sitting down there picking your nose. What's going on?
I don't know what's happening this week. So we was talking about the Rice interview earlier. We could cover that.
I'll be honest with you, I've seen bits and pieces of it. Not really
Well,
seen
it was only a sort of it was only like a 13-minute clip. Obviously, the full interview comes out next week, and you've obviously seen Gary Neville, the overlap. He walks around the old area where they grew up, and yeah, it was good. But if you want to talk about one interview this week, you got to talk about Mark Noble's interview. Honestly, it was unbelievable with Rio Ferdinand. The bloke. This is what I allude to when I say I can't see why fans criticise him, because he is what everyone like. If you could just sum up West Ham and a player as him, even when he talks about how he makes sure that he sweeps the away dressing room before they leave every game. He said even Manchester United complimented West Ham and said what a club they are when we've just lost in the last minute at Old Trafford. We could have smashed that change room, left it. But Mark Noble made sure that it was clean. And it's the young players are watching him do it. And he says he don't even have to tell them about it. They're just copying him. And that's the sort of role model you want at your football club. And that's what the role model. He's a role model you need to keep on at this football club for future generations. Honestly, everyone that speaks about Mark Noble never has a bad word to say against him, about him. No one. He's just, he talks about the old days, growing up, what he, how he obviously joined West Ham. We all know about. He was at Arsenal for a little while and that story, but he's just West Ham through and through. And it was such a brilliant interview. And I know Rio gets a lot of stick, rightly so, with what he comes out with sometimes. But I thought he handled the interview well with Joe as well. And I can't remember the other bloke's name, Stephen something.
Howson.
Yeah. And he just talked about even when he missed the penalty against United. And he said, I think it was his wife's birthday the next day and they was going out and it was affecting him. And he said when they was getting the train, he said a bloke come up to him who served out in Iraq, and he said, "Look, Mark," he said, "I've served out in Iraq, and he just thought to himself, there's more to life than worrying about missing a penalty." And Declan Rice is such a role model for everyone at the football club, and you can see why Declan Rice is the way he is, because he's starting to model his personality on Mark Noble.
Yeah, I mean the thing, like mate of mine, he knows. Their boys played football together, and he same thing. Never said said he's just such a nice, humble bloke. Like you say, he's a fantastic role model for kids.
It's not only for kids,
it's not just on the football, the way he lives his life as well.
For the seniors as well. It's just the way he talks. I see a lot of people in them comments. There was over 1,000 comments in there, and there was all from different fans of clubs, and they all said, even most of them said, "Do you know what? I never really liked Mark Noble, but I've changed my opinion on him after this interview." because he's one of the old generation now. He's the last of this old generation that grew up. We remember going to the training ground, used to see Rio, Lampard, Joe Cole, Carrick. They couldn't leave the training ground until they cleaned boots. Youngsters don't do that no more. They're not grounded enough. And we can go back to the Greenwood situation. Maybe if he'd have had better role models around him at the football club, it wouldn't have. He might not have gone down that route. We never know. But for me, Mark Noble's, I just loved it. But I can't. Someone just said there, I think it was Hawaiian Hammer. He said he didn't think he could love Mark Noble more until he see that interview, and I did. I fell in love with him all over again. I just wanted to kiss him, give him a big cuddle.
Yeah. No, but like I say, I think that's not the problem. The younger players, they used to have to do the YTS scheme. Clean the senior, like the first team players' boots, and they was on, pennies a week. But and before that, in the 50s and 60s, and that they used to have to go in pre-season and paint all the barriers in the ground and clean the stadium and all that. Players don't do that now. They've got no grounding.
The changing room thing goes back to, I think Noble said, about 10 years ago, where they played someone away and he left his wedding ring in the changing room, and someone took him back to get his ring, and he walked in the changing room and he said it was filth. He said there was tape everywhere, grass, milkshakes, bottles everywhere, and he said, I can't have this. And he's the captain of the football club. He could be right, his ego could be right up there and think, I don't have to do that, I'm a Premier League player. But he makes sure that change room for the last 10 years, every away game they've been, win, lose or draw, he sweeps it up and cleans it up. And that just tells you everything you need to know about Mark Noble.
Yeah. I agree. He's of the old school, isn't he? You know what I mean? Like he's a throwback, really, Mark Noble.
Well, you look at when he come through, mate. You look at the players that he had in the squad around that time: Teddy Sheringham, Malky Mackay, Christian Daly. There was a lot of senior pros in that squad at the time, and obviously before that, he looked up to other players when he was a youngster. He's come through our academy with great senior pros at the football club, and now he's passing that on to the next generation. And you see the way there's not been many players that have come through like youngsters and had a massive ego. I mean, Reece Oxford, you could probably argue, but I don't think that was really down to him. That was more of his agent. But the way he conducts himself, Mark Noble, and look, he even admitted his legs are gone. He can't do what he wants to do and used to do. And he's sat back for the last 18 months and hardly played, but he still loves the football club. And he's not going to moan. He loves it. And do you know one other thing he said as well that was really, I thought, really moving when he said it? They asked him about Ireland. They said, why didn't you ever play for Ireland? You was offered the chance to play for Ireland. And he said, do you know why? Because when I was a youngster, it was my dream to play for West Ham. It was all I wanted to do was play for West Ham. England was another dream, but I didn't think it was ever going to happen. When I was offered the chance to play for Ireland, it was never my dream. And if I would have played and got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 caps, he could have stopped a young Irish lad who has a dream to play for Ireland, never playing for Ireland. And once again, that just tells you that the man, he could have gone on and played 50, 60 caps for Ireland easy, I think. But it sums him up.
Class, pure class.
He should have had one England cap. When I look at some of the people that had England caps, man, he should have had one. Especially in that final bowling season. Harry fucking Winks has got an England cap over him.
The problem is, mate, I think he's played at every level for England. He's captained the under-21s to finals. He definitely should have had a cap. And that season, Roy Hodgson was in charge, and he obviously chose Jack Wilshere over an injured Jack Wilshere over Mark Noble. But Mark Noble's got no regrets, mate. He's lived all our dreams. He thought he was going to play one game for West Ham, and he's gone on to play over 500 games. So no one can ever take that away from him, and he will never have to buy a ticket at the football club again, because he'll always be welcome after he retires.
Let's take some comments.
Never have to buy a beer in East London again or Essex.
Kiefer Hearn says, guys, is it possible to buy your contract out, i.e. Lingard? I think that's what a transfer is, mate, and that's what January is for. Can they terminate his contract? Yes, but it have to be one mutual consent, and they're not going to do that. NS Ahmed says, I want the players for the remainder of the season to play for him and the fans because he deserves it. I didn't think I could love Noble more until I saw that interview, says the Hawaiian Hammer. Gravy 27-0, but maybe if United had Noble in the changing room, that the Greenwood situation might not have happened. That's the kind of impact this man has. Atmosphere in the London Stadium needs to change. It's been DIA. What's DIA?
I think that might be DOA, dead on arrival.
Okay, Danny Morris. Bring your drum next week. Chris Mills says, shame it was with Rio, but Noble came across so well. Absolute legend he'll always be. He is that glue that keeps the club together. Thunder and Joy says, Ryan, I'm on you. I'm you on this. Can't stand people having a go at Noble. Derek A says, is this a chance for some under 23s to break into the team? Well, yeah, of course it is. Noble for the academy role. No, I don't think he should take an academy role. He should be with the first team. If I'm honest with you, he's been so.
Hasn't he's done his badges already, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
He should be with the first team. He should be like Big Duncan Ferguson. Big Duncan Ferguson is one of the fucking. He survives every fucker that comes in. I just been scared to get rid of him.
Well, would you want to sack him? He fucking headbutted a burglar when he broke in his house. I wouldn't want to tell him that.
Naked.
Yeah, he was naked, wasn't he?
You can't imagine something like that happening with us as Noble, as captain, educating young players. Richard B says maybe he could stay next season and play sweeper for us. David Bowden says we make that podcast on YouTube, Nikki. It's on Patreon, the podcast. It's on Patreon right now. You can go and see it right now, video and audio. And there will be sort of a highlights package tomorrow on YouTube. Has Noble confirmed he is retiring or leaving West Ham and a season elsewhere? What?
No, he's retiring.
No, he's retiring.
Yeah, he's retiring. Nosebleeds claret and blue, says Miss Hammerette. Dalbster LCFC, Leicester fan, may not have been the greatest with his ability on the ball, but with that possession, his work rate, teamwork, and leadership qualities define him as a West Ham legend. I'll tell you what, mate, ping one in your fucking bottom corner, that's for fucking sure. Don't knock his ability. He was good on the ball. He is the ultimate Mr. West Ham, says Vic Williams. Matt Powell says Mark Noble's a real West Ham icon. We should induct him into the West Ham Hall of Fame. Have they even got a fucking Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
I think so. Have they?
Yeah.
Who's in it then?
Well, I think the last person they inducted into it was Kenny Brown Senior, but they've had Billy Bonds in it, Trevor Brook in. They do it in the Player of the Year awards, didn't they?
Don't know.
Yeah, we've had it for a while.
I think Hall of Fame should be physical.
What?
I think there should be physical, like rooms.
Like what you mean? Something you can go and visit?
Yeah. What's the point of it otherwise? It's not a hall.
No, yeah, I get what you mean. Like somewhere where you can, a bit like having a museum or type thing in it, somewhere you can go and appreciate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is because we don't own the ground, we've got nowhere to put that at the minute.
Oh, fuck off, Scott.
No, we could find a room for it. It could be like a Hall of Fame somewhere.
Thing is, I don't see why they didn't build something like that alongside the shop. Do you know what I mean? Extended the shop further around, built something there that you could have that type of thing. It'd be an attraction. You get people coming through, get people, not only on a match stage, you get people who are visiting from other countries who are West Ham fans. They go to that.
Well, to be fair, mate, we ain't got much to put in that museum. I remember the one we had at Upton Park, and it was a little fucking room at the back of the shop, and you had David Essex on the screen. So I think we had so much like stuff that we like because we haven't won much. I think they even had one of Tony Cotty's Dr. Martin boots that he wore when he was a fan. to the 1980 FA Cup final. There, that's how much we're scraping the barrel.
Yeah, no, of course, but there's a lot more to the history than just what we've won, isn't there? The history of how the club was started and stuff like that. There's a lot they could do with it if it's done right, and it would be a good thing. Especially if you look at a lot of youngsters, getting into football and getting into West Ham and like that. There's a lot of history within the club that, unless you really look into it, you're not going to learn. It'd be a good place, to educate younger fans who you're taking over, like, with Nicky taking his boy over, me taking my boy over eventually. It's good to show them all they see is the here and now. But it'd be nice to somewhere to take them to show them that you can appreciate the history and they can learn.
Yeah, we never had that. We never had that as kids, and we knew our history.
Of course not.
It's about you teaching your son the history.
I'm not saying it's not, but it'd be a good place
in the London Stadium and saying, "Look at that."
Yeah, but the thing is, it'd be good to take them somewhere where you can sit there and show them.
Well, the thing is, when you say about a Hall of Fame and all that, the winners, like, they could put a statue up for them around the ground and things like that. That's sort of a bit like what Arsenal do. You walk around the Emirates and there's like all their legends going back to Chapman. They've got Tony Adams, Bergkamp, Henry, and I'm sure there's a few others there that they've got. So, yeah, I mean, that's an idea. And they've started it with the European Cup Winners' Cup statue, in they, with Moorhurst and Peters. So maybe they have got more plans to put a Trevor Brooking, Billy Bonds, Vic Watson, John Charles, and things like that.
Yeah, exactly, mate. It'd be good to see that more. It'd be really good. And hopefully by the end of this season we get a statue. Well, for next season we get a statue built. Mark Noble lifting the FA Cup, because that's what we want to see at the end of this season.
Would be nice.
What do you hope,
League?
The thing is, it's one of them, isn't it? You've got people now. I've seen in the comments of the preview people saying, for me, as in the preview, I said this week's we can't afford to lose this game against Kidderminster. We need a cup run. We need a trophy. It's the only way. I know, like, I've missed the start of the show, but for me, it's one of the only ways we keep Declan Rice at this football club. is to now get that winning mentality to go out there and win these cup competitions and challenge in these cup competitions. And people are saying, "Oh no, we need to write this off. We need to finish fourth. We need the only trophy that matters is the Champions League." Listen, that's your opinion,
Graham. Don't say it. Don't say it.
No. I'm not going to.
I'm not.
Graham, don't say it.
I'm not going to say it.
I get this fascination with Champions League, playing the best teams in the world, playing in Europe, playing some of the best players in the world. But at the end of the day, you get that trophy. That's the day you're going to remember that. You'll always remember that.
These people not realise that if you win the Europa League, you get Champions League anyway. So you
exactly.
don't finish fourth.
Yeah. But obviously this was comments about the FA Cup. And as I said, I'm not going to have a pop at someone. That's their opinion. They're entitled to it. But for me, that is the reason why
these people
won't succeed if you have that attitude. Oh, top four.
These people that say they don't want to win the FA Cup, if we won the FA Cup, they'd be in tears and they'd be out celebrating on the street. So,
yeah.
Oh, mate, if we won the FA Cup, I think
they don't want to win the FA Cup.
Nobody said they don't want to win it. What a comment said was the cup's not important. Finishing top four is more important. So
depends how you look at it. I think the trophy is more important than a cup. But it depends how you look at it, because a lot of people say that finishing in the top four sort of guarantees. Well, don't guarantee anything. There's only two guarantees in life. That's death and taxes. But it sort of gives you a step to building for future success. Whereas a cup is just a one-off thing.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's it. Everyone's got their opinion on it.
I mean, the thing is, as we've said many times before. I mean, look at the last game at the bowling. What the atmosphere was like on the street, and the amount of people that were out. Can you imagine if we'd won a cup that year? Where it would have been incredible. It would have dwarfed the last game at the Bowl. If we'd have won,
look,
we'd have won the cup. If we'd have beat Man U in the quarters and won the cup, which I think we would have. If we'd beat Man U in the quarters, I think we would have. Then it would have been incredible down there.
I don't know if it's so much these days. If you win the FA Cup, you get legend status because look, the 1980 FA Cup final was behind me. I wasn't even born, but I grew up knowing, and that's the last team that won the FA Cup for West Ham, and they're all legends of the football club. I don't know if it means so much these days. Maybe for a team like West Ham, it would be because every year you get in the Cities, the Chelseas, and all that winning it. They win it year after year. West Ham could win it this year and not win it for another 30. So they would probably be regarded as legends. But yeah, look, I'd love a FA Cup run. I'd love to win the FA Cup. It's been my dream as a kid to see West Ham win the FA Cup. It would be memories for life to win the FA Cup. And the FA Cup is still a special competition. I mean, just look at tomorrow. We're going to be standing on the terraces, like 1,700 of us in a 6,500 seat stadium playing Kidderminster live on BBC. You know, 12:30 kickoff. The whole world is waiting for us to slip up and get knocked out. You know, we just have to be. If we turn up tomorrow, we're professional. We win the game, no doubt about it. But it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. But you know, it's what the FA Cup's about. This is what you want. These are the magic ties for these lower league teams. I mean, someone said to me the other day, "Cor, I can't believe you paid 31 quid for a Kidderminster ticket when Premier League's only 30 quid." I said, it doesn't bother me, mate. I would have paid 50 quid because my money's going to a lower league team. It's going to help them out. It doesn't bother me. I just want to be there to experience it. I haven't experienced Kidderminster away before. Last time we played them was in '94, I think. Which was a long time ago. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great. I mean, we could win tomorrow, and in the next round you can go and play. I don't know. Say we get drawn against Man United away. You're going from in one stage, one leg round. You're playing 6,500, and then you go into a 90,000 seat, 80,000 seat stadium. That's the difference between the teams in the FA Cup. But look, it's what we all love. It's the magic of the FA Cup, and I can't wait.
Yeah, exactly. Look, mate, this is what it's what the trophy's about. It's what the cup's about. You know, it's the romance of the FA Cup, and it's unfortunately that top four is everything attitude that is killing the romance of the FA Cup. You know, I said that for a lot of these players that are playing for Kidderminster, this is going to be the biggest game that they're ever going to play. You know, if they beat us, then they make it an even bigger game. But at the end of the day, that's as a footballer, you want to play against the best. You know, and for this is some of the best teams or some of the best players. Some of these players are ever going to come up against, so they're going to be well up for this game, well up for it.
Of course,
yeah.
Of course.
I say, it used to be one of my favourite days of the season. Always FA Cup third round day. It's brilliant. There's just it was just a great atmosphere on the day, and there was always a few shocks. I mean, they're not they're a bit rarer now. Just like as we said, the gap is widening. But
the thing is, we all sit there on the FA Cup draw, excited, waiting to see who we draw out of the hat. Yeah. You can pretend that you're not interested, but of course you are. You're all watching it. You know, it's what it is. You want to be drawn out against your rivals or the lower league teams, and you know, it's brilliant. And I don't want to wish Kidderminster too much luck tomorrow because obviously I want to win, but I hope it's the day of their lives and it's a day they never forget.
I mean, the thing is, mate, I only saw the highlights when they beat Reading in the last round, but they were full value for the win. You know, it's not going to be easy at all. I don't like to say if we're professional, we should win, but it's not going to be an easy game.
I'll tell you what, though, I have heard that they do the best pies in the Football League, so we will be judging that tomorrow.
Hey, I see the full list of the pies they've got there tomorrow, mate. They've got cottage pie, cheese and onion pie, steak and kidney pie, lasagna.
Even my mate who's a Southend United fan, he said the first thing he said to me, he went, "You ever been Kidderminster before?" I went, "No." He went, "Lovely food there." They were like Gordon Ramsay. Love it. I can't wait.
Nick, I know you put this comment up. I just want to read one out because this again for me is thinking of the FA Cup. You know, Ian Stevens says when I was back back in the motherland, the FA Cup was the most important thing in the world. I hate what it's become. The thing is as well that I see with the FA Cup, a lot of foreign fans would have known who West Ham are because of the FA Cup. You know, because of the 1980 type thing and going back further with obviously Moorhurst and that type of players. That, it was the pinnacle competition in this country, and that got a lot of older fans into.
Do you know what else as well, mate? I think do you know why a lot of people have fallen out of love with the FA Cup in recent years? It's because it's not the last game of the season anymore. It's not 3 o'clock on a Saturday, and they don't do the big build up like they used to. I remember as a kid, it used to be at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was all it was on, and then you'd follow they'd follow the coaches to the stadium. It was a massive build up. You used to have teams doing cup final songs and things like that. I'm not saying they should do that now because it was a bit cringy, but it made the FA Cup. And when they're doing it at a 5:30 kickoff now, and I think this season's FA Cup is the week before the end of the season. If I'm right,
last season was a couple of weeks before the end of the season, and you had the FA Cup final, and then there was Premier League games after it.
Yeah, it should always be the last game of the season.
Well, I remember. I think the first year it started was when Man City played Stoke in the final, and it was a 5:30, and there was something like 3 Premier League games beforehand. Yeah. And also, as well, I don't agree with the fact that they have Wembley for the semi-finals. Wembley should be for the final.
That's another.
Should be neutral, like have it at Old Trafford, have it at the Emirates if it's two London clubs, or what.
That's another thing that's killed the FA Cup is the semi-finals at Wembley, because the whole point is to get to Wembley. Yeah, if you go out in the semi-finals, some of these players are saying, "Well, we played at Wembley." We was the last team, I think, when we played Middlesbrough. I'm sure that was the last year where they done neutral grounds for the semi-finals. And you remember that day at Villa Park against Middlesbrough? It was magic. And then, you had Liverpool versus, was it Chelsea in the other semi-final at Old Trafford? And, that's how it should be, neutral grounds. It's the whole point is getting to Wembley.
It's the unfortunate thing is that, obviously, with the conversion of Wembley, it's the FA want to make their money. And that is why, you see the semi-finals there. And as we've said before, the fans are thought of last. If you have one semi-final that's Liverpool versus Man City, both sets of fans have got to come all the way down. Well, most Liverpool fans be coming from sort of Kent, so they ain't got too far to travel. But, the fans will be coming down, and then a few weeks later, they'll be coming down again. And that's the thing about it. It's again thinking of the fans last. It's the FA saying, right, we've got Wembley. Let's make as much money as we possibly can.
Right, they've made their money now.
Well, they've made their money now that pay for the stadium, but now they're making even more money.
They've made their money now. They have enough concerts and fucking NFL games and all of this fucking shit in it that they've made their money probably 2, 3, 4 times over now.
I don't even think they have the NFL games there no more. I think Tottenham have them now, don't they? They have so many concerts there. They have the boxing now. They have the Euros there. Like, they've made their money back. Let's get it back to go old school. 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
We should get a petition going. That's what we should do. We should get a petition going and deliver it to the FA and deliver it.
It's fair on the other teams as well. If you've got a Southern club playing a Northern club, have the game in the Midlands. 2 Southern clubs, put the game down in the South. 2 Northern clubs, put the game up in the North.
Scott, to be fair, it never really worked out like that.
No, but I'm just saying that.
It was normally Hillsborough and Villa Park were the 2.
Well, the thing is, I remember Chelsea playing Wimbledon at Highbury.
Yeah. In
97.
I remember, when was it? I think it was 92. It was Portsmouth and Liverpool in the semi-final. Was it? Is that the one you're talking about, right?
No, I just said Chelsea Wimbledon, you nutter.
Oh, Chelsea Wimbledon. Sorry, I was distracted. I was looking at comments, so you can stop laughing, Scott. Late at the party. I think it was 92. I think they had Portsmouth and Liverpool at Highbury. I think.
I'll tell you what, Graf, I fucking love you, mate. you are You are just, I love you. I could see, I want you to get your own reality TV show because I'd follow you around all day watching it.
Oh, mate, it'd be the most boring watch ever.
No,
I
it
think.
wouldn't. It wouldn't. It wouldn't. It wouldn't.
But yeah, no, okay. But normally it was Hillsborough, Villa Park was the two main grounds.
Yeah.
Occasionally they had them at Old Trafford, but I seem to remember like in the 80s and early 90s, it was always those two grounds.
Yeah, no, it didn't. It always seemed to be Villa Park. Yeah, I always remember Villa Park as a semi-final place.
Yeah. And then in later years, it was more like Old Trafford because I remember when was it Arsenal Sheffield United played there and Seaman pulled off that probably one of the greatest saves of all time. And do you remember when what was it? Was it Chesterfield versus Middlesbrough? Was it 3-3 or something like that? They lost in the replay, didn't they? That's what I'm saying. Like teams like you want to see these lower league teams progress to the quarters and the semi-finals. It's magic.
You just don't want to be the one that they knock out.
No. We've had enough of them. I was looking back through our history today of FA Cup defeats, and some of them I forgot about. I remember losing 1-0 to Swansea in '99. I'm sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was John Hartson's last ever game for us as well. And then obviously we lost to Wrexham. We lost to AFC Wimbledon in recent years. Wigan. It's terrible. Even in the League Cup. League Cup was worse.
Grimsby smashed us in a replay, 3-0.
Yeah, I remember that.
Isn't it terrible in this office?
What's next? Anything?
This is a good one, Nick. This might be for you if you want to start up a new show. West Ham Cat TV, cat videos of West Ham twist, millions of views. You guys are in the wrong business. That's what I'm on.
Everyone wants to say cats in West Ham shirts.
Nicky's got a cat. If me and Scott get cats, we can replace us with cats, and we can. I think that's a good idea. Maybe that.
We'll get on that.
Post-match milk.
No, it'd be good. Yeah. I ain't getting a cat though.
No, nor am I.
No.
There's nothing wrong with a cat, mate.
I just don't like them.
Why? What's wrong with them?
They're aggy, aren't they, Scott? They're all over you, are they? Yeah. They're not loyal either.
No, exactly.
Someone else feeds them, they're off. Bit like me, really. leave a plate of dinner out for me, I'm off.
See you later, yeah?
They ring me up. Where are you? I go, who are you? Oh, Sharon, because Sharon's got me some sausage rolls here.
Also, what do you think about the game tomorrow? The game tomorrow.
I'm excited, and I think David Moyes is going to go full strength as well. I really do. I think. Obviously, I don't think Antonio is going to be involved, so I can maybe see Bowen starting up top, Ben Rama coming back in, Fornals playing. I mean, there was a lot of people saying about Perkins starting and going up top, and I think we have to go full strength. I think if we go full strength and we control the game, we win it. There's no doubt about it. We're the better team. We've got better players, and Premier League fitness will probably come into it. But adrenaline's going to be kicking in for Kidderminster. The first half hour of that game is important.
The problem is the way you lose these games is they just fucking smash all over the park.
Yeah,
that's the way you lose them.
Have a look. Do you remember the AFC Wimbledon game when we lost?
Yeah.
The adrenaline for them in that game, they got a couple of goals and we was all over the place.
Thing is, even if you remember, I think it was the League Cup game when we played them. They went 1-0 up really early, and and then went down to 10 men, and that's the only reason we got back into the game.
I remember that game. Fucking Diop saw the screamer in that game from the edge of the box.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to it, mate. I mean, obviously, me and Nicky are going tomorrow. I'm excited. I really am looking forward to it. It's going to be a proper FA Cup day, and I really think Moyes is going to go for it. He proved it in the last round against Leeds, and I think in his press conference today, he sort of said it that he's going to go strong. I can imagine Areola in goal. I think, what would you reckon he'll go? Soufal, Dawson, Diop, and Creswell, or do you think he might start Johnson?
Johnson, I think it'll be a weaker team.
I think with his comments today as well, I think we're going to see Alex Crowell start tomorrow.
Crowell, yeah. I think Crowell will start. Noble will start. I think he'll go Dawson, Diop, Johnson, Masuaku, Crowell, Noble, Ben Rama, I think may play.
See, I don't think he's going to start Noble if Crowell starts. I think he'll start Rice, just to have that bit of stability in there, especially for the first half. I can see Rice starting tomorrow.
Crowell's been working a lot on his fitness in the break. He's been training. I know he had a bit of a time off, but he's been doing like personal training with a trainer and all that.
Apparently, Moisey was saying that COVID really affected him. He lost a lot of weight and he lost a lot of strength and things like that. So look, maybe we might see more of Crowell in the second half of the season. So
maybe that's what he was saving him for. They didn't really need him first half of the season.
That's why we didn't sign anyone, because we
and then he thought there's a couple of players here that ain't played. When we come to January, we just start playing them like the new signings.
I can see Ben Rama starting tomorrow as well because he needs a bit of a run out. And I think he'll start with Bowen up top.
Yeah, I think Bowen got top. I think you might see a youngster on the wing.
I'll be honest. I ain't going to go into too much because I've covered most of it in the preview. So,
all right, Scott, we'll go and watch a preview after, mate.
Well, this is it. It's for me. I'd leave Dawson out. I'd give Baptiste or Elise a run out alongside Diop.
I do think that's where we'd go, but I'm with Ryan. Just get the job done.
Yeah, no, there is getting the job
five substitutes at the end of the day. Play a strong team and then get them all off as soon as you go 2-3, 4-0 up.
But you can still play a strong team by giving certain youngsters an opportunity. You know, Ashby. Someone said there. Ashby, the game he played against Spurs, didn't he? Had a decent game. For me, I thought he was quite unlucky. I think the Norwich game got called off, so he didn't get to start in that one because I'm sure Soufal was still out at the time and Fredericks was still injured, so he probably would have got a start there.
Vlasic could start. Vlasic could go up front.
One player that I definitely wouldn't risk tomorrow just because of the ground and the physicality of it. Not that he couldn't handle it. It's just he's come back from a long-term injury. Is Zuma? I wouldn't even have him on the pitch tomorrow if we don't need him.
No, I'm with you, mate. I don't think Zuma needs to start. You know, all right, they could say, "Oh, he needs a bit of fitness going into the other game."
You don't want to risk him. You don't want to risk him.
And these the players are going to be chucking their bodies on the line tomorrow. And it only takes one silly tackle. You know, this is the game of their lives, as you said. Their cup final tomorrow. So,
and that's it. And that's why as much as we've got, as we said, I want to take this cup seriously. We've got a squad. There's players, as we said, that haven't had a lot of game time.
I know people have been saying, maybe put somebody under 23s in. Reading did that in the last round and come massively unstuck.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. You can't put too many. You can put one, maybe two, but you can't put too many of them in. You need to have that backbone. And when you look at the League Cup, the games that we played in the League Cup this season, we changed it about a bit. But I just feel that you could probably get away with one or two of the youngsters in the side. It's when you look at the under 23s, they play in the Papa John's Trophy. They're used to playing lower league opposition. The lower league opposition are more physical than what you probably see in the Premier League. They'll be the old school dirty tricks.
Do you think maybe he might even, because he's done it before, he's done it in Europe. Do you think maybe we might see Yarmolenko start up top because of his height?
Possible.
Maybe, yeah.
He needs a run, hasn't he?
Not being funny, Yarmolenko should be able to do a job against Kidderminster up top.
Mate.
Mate, if he couldn't do a job against Kidderminster up top,
he may start Perkins.
I said, do you know what I said today to someone? I said, like, the amount of stick that Yarmolenko gets, and rightly so, I still think that there's going to be one point in this season where Yarmolenko is going to come up with one of the most important goals for us this season. I really do. I can see something like in Europe or something.
Another Chelsea winner like he got.
Yeah.
That's the thing. you know, he's one of them. I think he divides opinion between a lot of the fan base. You know, I think he's very frustrating as a player, but I just think it's about the way he is. You know, people think he doesn't work hard, but there's games where he does, there's games where he doesn't. He's very hot and cold, and he's not. The problem with him is when he's not having a good game, or when he comes on and he's not really influencing anything, he hasn't got that tenacity to, all right, well, I'm playing a bit crap, let me work hard and win the ball back and stuff like that.
Do you know what I think the problem is with him? He's a bit like, do you remember Steve Claridge? Always looked knackered.
Yeah.
Like from the kickoff to the 90th minute, he always looks shagged.
I haven't.
Yarmolenko's like that. He always looks knackered.
I haven't seen any stories about Yarmolenko, but going by the comments, apparently he's got an issue with gambling or something. So I don't know what that's about. So I'll probably look into it more after. But I don't know what's gone on there. Obviously, there's a lot of people saying about betting. So I don't know. But yeah, look, going back to the game, I still think we're going to have we're going to be too strong for them, I think, and I want Kidderminster to enjoy their day. You know, I really do, but I want to see West Ham roll them over and get the job done and move on to the 5th round and then concentrate on Watford on Tuesday night. Because we've got, I know we've just had a 2-week rest, but now we've got 3 games in a week, and I think it's going to be like that now for most of the season, where you play 3 games in a week. Yeah. So, yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to it. Though. I really am. Proper FA Cup tie.
This is the thing with Antonio going off to play for Jamaica. You know, it's this period. You've had a lot of players who have needed a rest. You know, Souček, Rice. They needed this time off. They needed to recuperate and you know, just have a breakaway. We saw Declan Rice been playing golf. You know, just to get away from it all and have a little break from everything and have that, you know, the mental fatigue as well. It plays a lot. You know, look.
I mean, looking at the training ground videos, they all look happy to be back and they're raring to go, and it's good to see. And I listen, as I said, I want Kidderminster to enjoy their day tomorrow, but I think we're going to be too strong for them, and I think we'll get the game done.
Yeah, the thing is, it's just disappointing because for me, the one player I thought could have done with a bit of a rest is Antonio. You know, but you know he's played all right for Jamaica. He got his scored a penalty in the second game, so hopefully he comes back better than what he came back the last.
The thing is with Antonio, right? It's not his fault we haven't signed another striker and he won his competition, but he needs to have a real think now because Jamaica, I think they're second from bottom of their group. They can't do anything. He's got another 3 games from him in March. What's he got to put first? Because he's never going to do anything really with Jamaica. He wanted to have that experience of international football. He's had it. I think he really needs to think now because he's 32 now, Antonio? 32, something like that. He knows that he's not the greatest with injury records. You know, look, he's enjoyed representing Jamaica, and look, fair play to him for wanting to do it. But for him to go away in March for nothing games, and we're going to lose him for 3 games, it's pointless.
But the problem is we for us it's nothing games. You know, look, I know I agree with what you're saying, mate. It is a bit pointless. You know, and they've had to play games without their top players from abroad. Who are playing like over sort of in England before, but yeah, you know they're probably looking at we don't want to finish bottom of the group. You know, they also now they've got a new manager in charge as well, so the players are trying to keep their foot in the door to keep playing.
They've also got Ravel Morrison playing for them, and they lost to fucking Costa Rica the other night, and that old Arsenal striker scored the winner against them. What's his name? Joel Campbell.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's a name.
I know. Like, I think Antonio should think to himself, should I just give it up now and just concentrate on the Premier League? It's people are saying he's 31, so he's got a good 3 or 4 years still at the top level.
I think he's 32 next month.
Yeah, so he's look, I can't make the decisions for him, and I'm not in his position, so he might have a good jolly up in Jamaica. I don't know, but let's hope that the Antonio we sent there before has come back.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing.
McKen says Di Canio signed for West Ham age 31. He did, mate, but he didn't play international football. He never did where he was with us. Never. There was calls for him to be called up there. And to be fair, there's a lot of difference between the way Mikel Antonio plays and the way Paolo Di Canio plays. A lot of difference.
Mm.
Thomas has said there, he said apparently Jamaica are not going to use any European-based players anymore following this qualifying campaign.
Well, that's good then. If they leave him out in March, then that's fair play. As I said, look, I've got no problem. And who am I to tell Antonio not to go and represent his country? You know, I'm not saying that. I'm just thinking as a West Ham point of view, and I'm trying to think of his length. Look after his leg.
See, the player's got to be looked after first and foremost. You know,
look after his legs, Scott.
Yeah. But the unfortunate thing is, for years I've criticised players not going out for England, not putting their all for England when they're called upon, or sitting there saying, "Oh, we're tired." You know, I'm not going to criticise Antonio to go and represent Jamaica if that's that's what he wants to do. That's the nation, that he wants to play for. Then I'm never going to criticise him to do it. The problem lies with FIFA for organising organising the World Cup when it is, and having the qualifiers when they are. That's the problem. That's the real downside to it, is that you're putting this pressure on these players to it's the club and country, club v country scenario again. You know, you look at Blackburn; they've had to do without the striker. What's his Diaz?
Diaz,
he's been playing for Chile. You know, so a lot of clubs are suffering from it. It's just our situation's a lot worse because Antonio is our main striker.
Do you remember when Jamaica made the World Cup in '98? The Reggae Boys.
Yeah.
That was. I remember that. And the mad thing is, I remember being in work one day and we were sitting there, and a courier driver come in, and me and my mate Lee was looking at him. I was thinking, I fucking recognise him. Where do I recognise him for? And it was Marcus Gal, and he obviously played for Jamaica in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, you played for Wimbledon in the Premier League, like you played for Jamaica in the World Cup in '98, and like now you're doing van driving. It don't seem right somehow. Like these players, they just didn't have the money back in the days. And you think as well, his son's Dwight Gale, and he was playing for Newcastle at the time. So
I mean, they earn sort of decent money, but not the sort of money that they earn now, where they're set for life with one contract. You know, they probably had a little bit to invest or put aside for it, but nothing near.
I remember what's his name coming to my trade counter as well. He was a courier driver from.
Was it Nigel Spink?
Nigel Spink, yeah. I went up. We went. Are you Nigel Spink? And he was like so humble that we recognised him. I thought, mate, you won the Champions League when you was like 19 on your debut. Like European Cup, but
European Cup.
I've been walking around with that medal all day long. I'm telling everyone. Tommy Walsh turned up at our work one day. He was handing out autographs. No one even asked him for him. Giving out. We used to get quite a lot of celebrities coming to my work. We had Billy Murray, Johnny Allen from EastEnders, Rowley from Grange Hill. Loved it. Canning Town for you, that is.
That's it, mate. That's it.
I always wary of celebrities that carry around signed photos of themselves.
What made me laugh was, I'll never forget it, because Jerry was loading his van up, and Jerry went to get him to sign a delivery note, and he just whipped out a photo of him and went, "Here, son," and give him a signed picture. And he was like, Jerry was like, "What's that?" You got to have some bollocks about you to do that.
I mean, that's ego and half, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's some fucking ego that you're walking around with signed photos of yourself, giving them out to people who didn't even ask.
Big West Ham fan though, Tommy Walsh.
Yeah, but fuck me. That's some ego.
When he come in, because I remember it was when Sam Allardyce was in charge, and I'm sure it was our first season up. And I think we just beat Chelsea on the Saturday 3-1. Do you remember we beat them 3-1 at Upton Park when Maiga scored and Cole and Cole? And I think he come in just like we was talking about that game, funny enough. Tell you what, though, it's coming up to 10 years since the playoff final. 10 years ago today, we beat Millwall 2-1 at Upton Park when Reed scored the winner.
Mad, isn't it?
Crazy how
Crazy,
quick,
mate.
It's crazy how quick,
really quick.
life's going, mate. Like, to think that the playoff final was 10 years ago this year.
I'm going to get asked if anything started early, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the most famous West Ham fan you've ever met?
Most famous West Ham fan?
Yeah. So you just said Tommy Walsh there.
Yeah, he weren't famous. He weren't the most famous.
Matt, Ryan introduced me to Ray Winston.
Yeah, I suppose.
Now that is famous. That's famous. That's a film. That's a movie star. He's worked with like Martin Scorsese.
Hmm.
That's famous. He's been in big blockbuster films.
Famous West Ham fans. Yeah, I'd probably have to say Ray Winston.
Scott, you're sitting there with a blank expression on your face.
I'm trying to think who West Ham celebrities that I've met. I don't think there is any.
Scott, you met Doc Cotton in Morrison's. Oh, I'll show.
As I've said before, me recognising people was the worst. I walked straight past Andy Carroll and didn't realise it was Andy Carroll. So, you know.
Fuck me.
That's because he was injured most of the time. He was with us. Didn't even know what he fucking looked like.
Trying to think.
I met Dave Grohl.
Mm.
And that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say that's very good.
Mm.
Very fancy.
I wouldn't say he's a proper West Ham fan, though. He's just jumped on it because he's done a few concerts at London Stadium and had his picture done next to the badge.
No, I think he is.
Oh yeah. If you've got him on there and said name us who we played last game, he'd probably say fucking Middlesbrough or fucking the Chicago Bears.
But some of them you'd be surprised. Because I'll tell you who wasn't very surprised. And do you know what? He used to be a West Ham fan. He converted to a Tottenham fan, which tells you all you need to know about American fans anyway. But I'll tell you, he's very knowledgeable about football. And I was really surprised about this. You know the fucking geezer that used to do Man versus Food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had him on Talk Sport once. He done like a 20-25 minute interview, man. He knew everything. And he started with football because he used to work when he was doing Man versus Food. They obviously used to travel a lot around to different towns in the States. So it was just like a very lonely life, I guess. It was just him and a producer and a couple of cameramen. And one of the producers was English, and he was a massive West Ham fan. So every time like they was out in these towns, he used to be going out catching the games in the bars and things. And he started to, so they got quite close, and he said, "Come on, start supporting West Ham." So he did. He started following West Ham, and then he started looking more into football, and he found that because he's Jewish, that Tottenham had a big Jewish community, and he converted in the end to Tottenham. But he was very, very knowledgeable about football. He knew what he was talking about. And I tell you who else does as well, Triple H.
I think I was reading something about it was when they was filming Saving Private Ryan, Matt Damon, and he said I think he said it was one of the cameramen was a West Ham fan. He said like everyone else was like Man U and Arsenal and all that, you know, because it was like late 90s, and he said he used to sit there and watch the games with the cameraman. And that's how he got the same sort of thing. So
when it, I think the reason why he took to West Ham is because they were a lot like the team that he supported in
Red Sox, wasn't it? Because Boston Red Sox didn't win a World Series for about 80 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, baseball.
I'll probably have to say as well, I've seen a couple of people there. Lennox Lewis, I've met Lennox Lewis before, and Frank Bruno as well, who's a massive West Ham fan, obviously. So former world champions there. Lennox Lewis, undisputed world champion, retired as well. So, yeah.
I was going to say, like, you class boxers as massive celebrities, but I guess the most famous sportsman in the world is boxer, isn't he? Muhammad Ali.
everyone knows Frank Bruno. Everyone knows Lennox Lewis if you go around the world. I'll tell you what, though, funny thing is that the London Stadium's actually one of the preferred venues for Fury versus Dylan White, which I don't think it's going to happen now because Wembley's being touted now. But yeah, that'd be brilliant if that happened now.
Isle of Hammer says most random place you've ever seen a West Ham player. Mine was Yossi Benayoun in Bluewater while queuing for cinema tickets.
You know what? One of the most random places I've ever seen a West Ham player, and Danny Charles will back me up on this because he was with me. We was in Southend when we was kids, and we see Luno McCloskey queuing up for an ice cream, and he had all I remember was like he had flip flops on, he had massive toes, Danny Charles will tell you, we was out on we was with Community Links on a trip to Southend, and we see Luno McCloskey.
I think I see Rio in Lakeside once. I think he was in the there was loading had England tracksuits on, so I think it must have been like the under-21s or something. Was it having a day off? And I see Rio in Lakeside.
Yeah, mine was as I said, Andy Carroll standing outside one of the shops in Loughton, waiting for his missus to come out.
I saw Svetoslav Todorov in the job centre. Right about me up.
Yeah, he fucking got binned out, mate.
Someone I know, well, someone we know who played for Thames. He saw his missus saw Andy Carroll in Audi.
Nothing wrong with Audi, Scott.
I only likes the meat.
Nothing wrong with Audi, mate. Nothing wrong with Audi. Just saying, it's a random place to see a footballer.
I saw a West Ham player once. Who was it I saw? I think it was like Joe Cole or someone like that. He was one of the youngsters in Lakeside in one of the, like the posh clothes shops. But it was with the bloke from Blue.
I'll see Joe Cole over Anal just for Christmas.
I remember seeing Paul.
His team were playing on the pitch next to us.
Yeah. I remember seeing Paul Konchesky with his missus down Lakeside once. This was obviously before we even started this channel, so it was before we even knew him. But yeah, I remember, and he was quite a big name, like obviously back then. But
there you go. What's the loudest goal celebration you can remember? Last game at Bowling, Winston Reid or Vaz Tay playoff?
Playoffs, man, was every time I see that goal now, I still get goosebumps watching it because I remember that the noise that was loud. That was loud that day. The last game at the Bowling as well was special, but I don't know that Vaz Tay goal. Even going back to it, even the Bobby Zamora one against Preston in the playoff final was loud. But I mean the Vaz Tay winner against Blackpool because it was the minute as well. It's like the 86th, 87th minute, so you knew that was it, game over. We're in the Premier League, and it was just like. And I remember after the game, everyone singing Bubbles, and it was mental. It was like,
mind you,
why? How did you not say Steve Lomas in O'Neill's?
Oh yeah.
How did you not say that? That just popped up to me. That did.
Yeah, Steve. That was the day we played. I remember we played Leicester away. It was the first game of the season in the Championship. We drew 0-0, and it was baking hot that day. And I'll come back, and me and my mate went out. I think Nick, you was meant to come out, but you had like sunstroke.
That's it. Yeah.
And I remember playing the fruit machine with my mate, and all of a sudden I just see. I thought, have I drunk too much? I'm sure I just see Lomas walk past the window, and all of a sudden Steve Lomas just come in and he was dancing, and I went up to him and I was like, "Oh, played well today, didn't he?" And he was like, "Nah, we were shit." And he was probably like laying into Bobby Zamora as well, like proper spanking. I was like, "Right, Lomas, leave it out, mate."
Joe, while we've got back to that, right? Lawless bumped into Kevin Nolan in Greg's in Epping.
When?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Years ago.
I remember him telling us about that.
Yeah. I was parking my car up, and he'd gone into
Oh.
Greg's and bumped into Kevin Nolan.
Kevin Nolan loves at Greg's.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking at his gut these days, mate, I'm not surprised.
He looks like a sausage, cheese, and bean man. He looks like he likes one of them.
Cheese, lemon pie.
But yeah, what was the question?
The loudest goal celebration.
I remember when we went Emirates opening day of the season, 2015.
Yeah,
That was when the second goal went in. That was a bit carnage in the away end, wasn't it?
yeah. I think the loudest year was in the concourse when you got your wallet out and bought a round.
I always get me round. Don't start. I always get me round. Always get me rounds in. Don't start all that nonsense.
Oh, I say, Nick. Oh, I say.
I think the loudest one was the Everton one.
Oh, what? Quiet.
No, the Everton.
The last minute one.
Final against Ipswich.
Oh, I thought you said Everton. Sorry, mate.
Etherington.
Everton.
I thought you said Everton.
Yeah, the one when you had a broken leg and then you started spinning round. You forgot you had a broken leg for about 10 seconds.
And I put my crutches out like that and I was spinning around. Hitting everyone with them.
Like moaning your leg hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mental because you could feel the stand shake that day.
Mm.
Yeah. Thoughts on Lampard getting Van der Beek and Ali? Can he build them up to be a top midfielders? Cheers, lads.
Yeah, I think it's all three are great appointments by Everton. To be fair, I think Lampard will do well there. He's got Ashley Cole coming in as well to help him out. I think Van der Beek, he's very underrated. He wasn't given a chance at United. And Dele Alli, we know he's talent. He's just the last few years he's just lost his ways, and maybe he might have a Jesse Lingard moment, where
it's reported that he went for 40 million.
No, I think it's
10 million up front, isn't it, or something like that? But it's like
on his
it's a deal that could be worth 40 million.
That. On his day, he's probably worth that. But look, I don't want to wish him luck because I don't want them to do well because obviously they might overtake us. But maybe that's the break he needed. As I said, just like Jesse Lingard last season, he needed something new. He come to West Ham and he found his form. So yeah, maybe Dele Alli can do that at Everton.
The thing is, you look at the signing of Van der Beek. It's just a case he's a good player. He just isn't getting game time. And he doesn't fit into the menu structure. Whereas Ali is a player that used to be top quality and has lost his way massively.
But have you ever somebody on Twitter made this point earlier, right? How many players do you know, and can you name me two, right, that have gone the heights that he did, in terms of form, dropped right down and then have gone back up again?
There's not many.
I can't think. Do you know what? Somebody asked that question earlier. I can't think of none.
What was the question? What club or player?
No,
what player you know that's gone from being like top tier England international, fucking form of his life, would have probably, like they was talking about Real Madrid buying him and that, dropped as low as he did, and then that's gone back to the top again? Because I can't think of any. None.
Yeah, I'm
trying to think.
I can't think of any. And that's the thing is, it's sometimes when you peak, it's I suppose in a way it's where you assess the player. You look at what he did for Spurs. Was that the peak of his career, and that's what you're looking at to get back to there, or are you just looking to become a consistent player? People saying Lingard. I don't think Lingard ever lost it. It was just he wasn't given the opportunities at United that he needed. Again, there someone says Di Canio never lost it. He just
he didn't lost. No, he never lost it. He always had it. He just had trouble off the pitch. He was still a good player. But when you see Ali, there is no. I mean, what controversy? Can you think of any controversy? He had that little bit with that porn video, didn't he? That come out with him, but
apart from that, I can't think of any sort of controversy or anything like that he's been embroiled in, like public anyway, to sort of, merit the sort of form he's lost. Is it attitude? It's got to be something. Anelka? Someone said Anelka. That's a good shout.
Yeah, Anelka. El Hadj.
No, I don't. El Hadj. I can't think of him playing well after he left.
He done well for Liverpool, didn't he?
Done all right, but wasn't sort of alley level. Someone said Gaza. That's a good shout.
Wayne Rooney, whatever happened to him, eh?
No, Rooney was good, and age declined him.
No, Rooney was world class. I was only joking.
But that's the thing, isn't it? It's as I said, how do you judge it? If you're there ability wise and thinking, and you drop, it's like with the likes of Lingard. Lingard's ability and performances have always really been there. He's just not had the opportunities that he was getting before. But Ali sort of was at that top performance, and then he's just massively declined. And to be honest, I don't see how he fits at Everton. For me,
do what?
I don't see how he fits in their lineup.
Well, he's got to be better than what they've got because they've been absolutely dog shit.
It's not Scott. They've got a brand new manager, mate. The lineup's probably going to change quite a lot. So
yeah, someone just said there. That's a good shout, Fernando Torres. Another player. No, he was world class at Madrid, and then went to Liverpool, even better. Then went to Chelsea and just declined, and his career went backwards.
The thing is, as well,
but then I'm talking about been that level, then gone down, then gone back up.
Yeah, then he sort of, where did he go after that? He went back to Madrid and they won the Europa League, but I don't know how much he contributed to that.
No, he barely played. He went to Milan first, I think. AC Milan.
It's also, I think it's also that when you look at these players, it's what sometimes the clubs they go to don't suit them. Torres going to Chelsea, the way Chelsea played didn't really suit Torres. And as going back to take, it's going to Spain and things like that. The league's a lot easier than what the Premier League is. People say you look at Di Maria when he was at Manchester United, and then compared to Di Maria now that's at PSG, or was it PSG in case he's left? I'm not sure, but it wasn't the fact that the player ever lost the talent; it's the fact he just couldn't cut it in the Premier League. Varane was another one for United. He couldn't cut it in the Premier League. He tried twice to cut it. Varane. And that's what it is. It's just certain leagues suit certain players and other leagues don't.
Golden Jury.
Yeah, that's a good one. Haller.
Ian Dowie.
I've seen a couple here that could be sort of candidates. Falcao was one. Someone said even at West Ham level, Cresswell, Fernando Morientes, Balotelli, Haller a couple of times, Shevchenko,
Puskas,
Morata.
Where did Shevchenko decline? Where would you say Shevchenko's decline was? When he went
Chelsea.
to Chelsea? Yeah, but again, it's the case of the Premier League's a completely different level of.
Yeah, but there was no rise again. You're talking about going from top to bottom to top again. I don't think
he's going to go to Milan and win the Champions League after.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Shevchenko went from top to bottom when he weren't like bottom when he was playing for Chelsea.
Mascherano was a good shout. He was shit for us. They weren't his fault.
He was just 4 passes ahead of every other player he played with when he played for us. That was
it was just a poor man's Hayden Mullins. Let's get it right, Scott.
Someone says Defoe. When I don't remember Defoe dropping off.
I'll tell you what, it's nice to see him back at Sunderland. Like at the age of his career, gone back to Sunderland, and I think they're doing a thing tomorrow where every ticket sold, £1 goes to the Bradley Lowry Foundation. I think they've sold like
Mm.
38,000 tickets.
Mm.
League One, it's unbelievable. So
Yeah, that's good. It's nice, nice touch.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. There's no more questions coming in.
Payet, top of us, went back to Marseille. Shit. Watch when he goes to West Ham next season in the summer.
He's about 45 now and about
I'll take him. No,
34 stone.
I'm only joking.
But,
I think that's it, mate. Predictions for tomorrow? Oh yeah, hang on. Well, here's a question. Get it in. Favorite Pringle flavour?
I do like the barbecue ones.
Yeah, barbecue's my favourite. My missus loves the salt and vinegar. It burns my mouth. Salt and vinegar ones.
I really don't like salt and vinegar.
They're too much.
Yeah,
it burns your mouth. Like, I love the barbecue ones.
Do you know what? I like the original ones. The red one,
really salty.
Yeah, I like them ones.
Yeah, I don't mind the what's the other ones they do? Cream and chive in it or something.
Yeah, they're not bad. Yeah.
But yeah, I love a barbecue.
Barbecue favourite, then cream cheese and chive second.
Yeah, look, they're all coming in now. Look, we're going. They think, what are you having for breakfast tomorrow, Nick?
oh, fucking hell.
Sushi. Last time I went to United away, he was trying to eat sushi at 8:30 in the morning. And then he ended up getting what did you get? A muffin and a coffee or something?
Porridge, wouldn't it?
Porridge, that's it. What are you having, Gray?
I'll probably have porridge with a banana chopped up in it.
Why don't that surprise me? A little bit of jam.
That's why he's looking so trim, mate. That's what it is.
What are you having, Scott?
Two toasts with honey and a cup of coffee.
A bit of Holy Ghost.
Graham's looking trim. I've done well in the gym. I've £12 I lost 2.5 weeks. Back in, I was in the gym tonight before I even come on here. Fucking smashing it, playing football again. Loving it.
I'm 4 weeks away. I can start playing again in 4 weeks.
Right, by the time your 4 weeks come, mate, you ain't getting nowhere near me. Bit like normal then, isn't it, Gray, chasing me around?
That wasn't what you saying when you called me that naughty word that time.
You was cheating.
I'm normally on the same team as you anyway.
Yeah, you was cheating.
Borough equalised against Man United, apparently.
Hey?
Borough equalised against Manchester United.
I think someone said Ronaldo missed the penalty as well.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior or Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan.
I was always a Hogan, man. Warrior used to wind me up.
I like Warrior, but Hogan was the better draw, wasn't he? He was a better wrestler overall.
Oh,
and he was in Rocky as well. Oh, my neck.
Yeah. No, I'm enjoying it at the moment, playing football now again. I went so long without playing it, and then ever since I've been back, and it's such a great group of lads on Monday night as well, and there's some decent players over there. Great, I don't even think you'll get back in the 12, mate, to be honest.
I'll be on the reserve, mate. I'll be on the reserve list.
You'll be on the fucking reserve list. But, yeah, no, I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's good. And the thing is, I wound myself up going there on Monday because the week before, I never scored. And it's like 6 aside. I'm thinking, how can I not score? Like, I was just getting it in the post and nothing was going my way, and I wound myself up. So, driving the football on Monday, I was like, right, I've got to score tonight. So, usually when we kick off, Gray, I usually slip at the back, then I watch the game.
Yeah.
I'll go up front, and I scored the first goal, and that was it for me. I went and sat at the back all night.
Just pinging it around.
Yeah,
spraying it.
Pinging it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's good. I might even do a bit of 11-a-side next season, Gray. Vets. You might get your wish. You don't even ask me. You've been asking me since I'm 25. 38 next month. Jesus. Do you know what I was thinking about it, right?
46 this year.
It was 22 years ago this year that I left school, right? I was thinking to myself, that's mad. And I was thinking to myself, shit, in 22 years' time from now, I'll be 60.
Don't start talking like that.
Don't start thinking like that. What's the matter?
Don't start throwing them things about.
Isn't that mental when you say it like that? I think in 22 years' time, I'll be 60. I can't handle it, mate. It's all going too fast.
Mate,
Enjoy life.
I'm now officially closer to 50 than I am 30.
All right, lads, we was all having a nice time. We was all having a lovely time.
We've all had a drink. I've had me one beer tonight. I forgot to bring the other in. I've been fucking sipping that beer all night. But, yeah, it's mad, isn't it? But oh well, life goes on. I'll have 20, hopefully 22 great years before I'm 60. Then I can retire
Sounds
peacefully.
good, mate.
Peacefully.
Sounds like a plan.
Put my feet up in the Brentwood mansion.
Right, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. Thank you very much for all your comments. Just before you all go, the West Ham Fan TV podcast started this week. That is over on Patreon as we speak, and there will be a highlights video up on YouTube tomorrow. It's a fantastic episode. Unfortunately, the first one, Ryan was ill. He couldn't make it, so we had to get him standing already. But he will be back next week for that one. So yeah, go and check that out. That was really good, and that'll be weekly from now on. Go and check out Scott's preview. They got uploaded yesterday. There's a musings going up. I think I'm gonna have to put that up Sunday. We're just so packed with content at the minute. Obviously, we're going to be building up to Kidderminster tomorrow, all the fan cams. We're going to be building up to Watford on
content coming up. Building up to it. So yeah, just keep subscribing and hit that like button as well. If you're watching now, look, there's still a few of you watching. If you haven't, hit the like button because it does help us out. It shares our video and helps us gain more subscribers. And yeah, I don't know when I'm going to fit on the social in next week.
We'll fit it in, mate.
Be a Thursday.
We'll film it on Wednesday before the podcast. Thank you very much. One thing left to say.
Come on, you
Irons.